RTD Live Talk, Detroit's #1 late night YouTube talk show. And we are live for a Thursday night live stream. It is the 17th day of the month of September. Excited to be back for another live stream and got a lot of things worthy of talking about this evening. But I'm noticing a trend that's developing. And unfortunately, I think a good majority of the population is not paying attention to the ongoing trends. And so it's my responsibility, or I take it upon myself to do my best to try to inform, educate, and encourage as many people as possible to recognize what's going on, realize the game is rigged against you, and the only way you have a chance of being able to withstand this current corrosion of our monetary system is to take matters into your own hands, financially especially. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. Excited to be back. And so as always, any new viewers, feel free to let me know where you're watching from. And I'll definitely do my job in acknowledging your presence, thanking you for being a part of the community. And then also when the phones line open up, as well as the video portion opens up, want to make sure that I hear from you guys on whatever else might be going on in your neck of the woods or in your world. So let me dive right in. So we got King D, we got Luke, we got JoJo, we got the New York Redneck, we got Excalibur, we got Timeless Bear. Says greetings. We got Natural Mama, Barlight Broker in the building. We got Jay, Christopher K, Army of One says blue t-shirt again must be your favorite color. Good one. So this is actually black. It just looks probably blue to you due to the lighting and whatnot. Truth or Nothing from Phoenix. What's up, my friend? We got Pete. We got Deshaun from Pontiac. Okay. Pontiac in the building. What else we got? Florida Princess. How you doing? Boots on the ground. Okay. So a fair amount of people tuning in. As always, definitely, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up button, show your support for the channel, and hopefully bring in more people so they can find out what's going on, man, because came across some information that, once again, you have to put all the pieces of the puzzle together to get the full story. And it happens to be that the 1%ers are getting out while majority of people who are uninformed is staying in. And then you have a good portion of the population starting to catch wind of what's going on, and they're, i.e., traders or stackers. And so they are hopefully taking advantage of the manipulation while still present. Barlight Broker says, Mike, what's up with the guy making the silver RTD coins? Dude seems to be a devil worshiper. Yeah, so as far as my guy Mike, I think that's just part of his logo and his branding and whatnot. And so I definitely on the RTD rounds keep it strictly neutral / message based as far as what's going on with RTD. So not quite sure. That's between that's whatever. It's just he does a great job of creating fine products, and so that's kind of where I leave it at. So what else we got? Christopher from Iceland, VPN. Okay, Christopher, what part of Iceland are you located in? Are you in Reykjavik or where are you located at, my friend? Curious to find out. All right, so enough rambling on my side. I want to get into the articles quicker, lay out everything I got in front of me, and then get your thoughts on it, and we'll go back and forth, and then open up the mic so we can talk a little bit. And so let me get right to my screen. And so we're going to talk about the pension situation. So I'm going to thumb through everything we're going to touch on first. And so first one here I'm going to touch on is super rich step up big stocks sales after global price surge. So we got, the big boys getting out. We got the billionaires' wealth grew by $845 billion during the last 6 months. And the question is, how much has your wealth grown, or how much has your weight grown? We're going to dive into that. And then here's an article here that really made me want to touch on this tonight. It says passive investors will go broke. And there's some interesting information there that you guys need to hear about. And then public pensions, new inflation dilemma, with this negative interest rate world we're in now, for the most part, all those promises going to have some problems. And then as always, those that are in the know definitely get their weight up. So central banks have been buying gold for over 10 years now. Okay. Gold prices a third log straight day that extends past the gains or extends the gains after the Fed policy statement. And so this is what we're going to touch on, but I'm going to let's start off with this one tonight. And so I came across this, and it happens to be a fellow Detroiter in this mix here. And so I had to do a little tweet or whatnot to, I guess give a shout out, but also, shine some light on how it does pay to be in on the game, especially if you're a business owner that happens to be a newly listed, publicly traded company and you're an overwhelming holder of your shares. There's no reason why your wealth can't grow substantially. And so here it says U.S. billionaires' wealth grew by $845 billion during the first 6 months of the pandemic. Okay, and so once again, I don't hate for doing what you do. The system is designed to favor those who take advantage of it. These gentlemen here, say what you must, but they're taking advantage of the system that's rigged for them, and all the evil and everything underneath all that. Okay, so whatever, they're sitting heavy, but once again, they own companies that happen to be favored now as this thing comes to an end. But what caught my attention was this infographic right here, this graph here, illustrating how much wealth and the increase in the percentage of wealth over the last couple of months, and it's astounding to say the least. And what really caught my attention was I'll click here because I actually gave a little Twitter shout out earlier today, and kind of making fun, but also highlighting. And so I said, over the last 6 months, I didn't come close to the 672.1% wealth growth that Dan Gilbert, i.e. Mr. Quicken Loans, experienced in the Detroit, but I did get my weight up and help the community do the same. What about you? And so just pending this little visual aid here. And so it gives a list of all the top billionaires that has benefited the most. Jeff Bezos is number one. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Larry Ellison, Steve Ballmer, right on down to the line. And then at the very bottom, look at this come up here. Mr. Dan Gilbert in Detroit. He owns the city of downtown Detroit. Do what you do, player. And so he had $6.5 billion net worth, i.e. overwhelming majority of shares in his company. They went public during all this fiasco, or slightly before then. And he went from 6.5 billion to 43.7 billion within that time frame there, 6-month time frame. And it equates to 672% wealth increase. And I'm thinking like, wow, that is a heck of a come up. And so, good for him. Also all fine and good. But one of those things where the first thing that came to my mind is, okay, these guys are here, these individuals, and because there's one of the Waltons on there, they did good. It benefited them well. And I'm thinking like, okay, well, I didn't get a chance to make the billionaires list, so that's okay. I'm not mad. But one thing that I did take advantage of was the manipulation, and knowing the game's rigged against me, I did get wealthier in a sense, but it all depends on how you measure your wealth. And so majority of those people there, their wealth is linked to or directly correlated with their share prices in the companies that they run. So, i.e., as long as the stocks are doing great, their net worth in the high billions is doing good. And of course, they're selling. So I got an article here saying that as they get richer, they sell and buy real tangible things, I'm sure. But yet, their wealth grew. Their wealth grew in the form of their increased share prices for their corporations. And also for those out there that are aware of the game and know what's going on, I hope and I believe for those that are tuning in, your wealth has grew as well. It might not have grown in the billions category, millions or whatever, who knows? But yet your wealth has grew in the form of you getting your weight up. And so, as I've always preached before, the importance of getting heavier as all this stuff unwinds, just because the true wealth comes from the earth. And so all these individuals here, they have claims on the earth in some capacity, or products that come from the earth, which has given them their wealth. So it's good to say, if you've been paying attention, taking advantage of the opportunities in front of you, you've gotten heavier. Therefore, your wealth has grew as well. And so I want to make sure as everybody gets into the mix, I want to definitely give you a shout out. And then also just mention to you, for those that may not be familiar with the fact that we have the new Get Your Weight Up coin is out. And so I'm doing my best to try to make sure I put it in the hands of as many people as possible. And so what's different about these is these are uniquely crafted rounds. No one is the same. Everyone is different. Everyone is numbered and tailored for you if you're interested in having a collector's item. And so I believe one day these pieces will definitely stand the test of time. So I definitely want to make sure I bring that to your attention. For those that are interested, link is down below. And then on another note here, for those that are interested in supporting the channel, have the merch as well available for you guys as well. Link is in the bottom. So took care of all that good information there. Now let's get into some other things. So along with the billionaires getting richer. It says a super rich step up big stock sales after global prices surge. So here we have some billionaires, people who actually are the heads of CEOs or major shareholders or whatever you call it. While they've been increasing their portions of shares, either with stock buybacks or whatever you call it, they've also been selling. It says some of the world's wealthiest people have sold more than 3 billion of stakes in their major holdings since August. So that's literally within the last, 30 days, give or take? And that's just what we're told. So mind you, this is mainstream news, so it's already old, outdated, or slanted to dial it down. So I would imagine, for sure, Elon Musk has sold some billions, and Zuckerberg sold some billions in shares of his company. So just a little heads up here. It says they're diversifying their fortunes as the stock markets have rebounded. So they're diversifying out of claims on their companies and getting into other things. I wonder what they're getting into. Well, you know what that is. And so something worth keeping in mind. All right. So here's another thing that caught my attention, which is something that I wanted to bring to the forefront, is that passive investors. And so now we are in a whole new monetary realm. Now that the Federal Reserve is committed to sticking at the inflationary policies from here until 2003, and that's what they're telling us, but yet it's going to get a lot worse. Passive investors. And what I mean passive investors, so I actually wrote a list here. I wrote a list of things here that I'm kind of sniffing out amongst all the people I've talked to and interviewed, and got some interviews coming up that you guys are going to definitely enjoy. But I kind of gave some categories here. And so I put them in, let me see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6 different categories here of individuals that use their capital for something, and they, in the form of an investment type of avenue. And so the billionaires, they're billionaires ideally because of their holding of corporate shares in their companies or in other companies. Traders are people who are taking advantage of everything. They get in, they get out. They look at graphs, the technical analysis, and all that stuff like that. They get in, get out, make a profit, turn a profit quick. We got passive investors. And those are the people I'm about to touch on in a minute. And those are the people who follow outdated financial advice from probably licensed brokers or whatever, who make a commission upon the information they sell them. Therefore, it's not the most modern and up to date, given the circumstances of living in ultimately a negative environment. And those people buy and hold. So the buy the dip type of people. And so you get information from mainstream news says, whenever the stock market drops, this is a great time to buy. Okay, why is it dropping? More than likely because somebody's selling. And as I just showed you, it's the billionaires. They're selling, as well as all those that know what's going on. They're selling as well, taking profits in a sense. Then we have speculators, and the Doug Casey's on the show. I know for Doug Casey, when he joined me, gave a great explanation of what he considers himself why he considers himself as being a speculator. And so those are people who typically look for malfunctions in the system somehow, some way, and take advantage of it, or they're conscious of the importance of natural resources, i.e. uranium, platinum, plutonium, all those oniums and ioms that most people are not familiar with. They're getting in heavy on those things right now. Then we have the stackers, the people who are getting their weight up. Those are the people who realize that true wealth happens to be in what is considered sound money, and they're getting heavy right now in a sense. And then we have what I call the Kryptonians. And so the crypto people who are enthusiasts, people who stack Satoshis or altcoins. So those are the 6 different categories, as well as probably some others. Let me know in the chat, what you think about that. But amongst those 6 categories I gave you, assumably you're one or more of those or a couple of those things. So let me know in the chat which one applies to you. You're either a billionaire, you're a trader, you're a passive investor, you're a speculator, you're a stacker, or you're a Kryptonian. Let me know in the chat. And low blood pressure says Kryptonians. But watch this, low blood pressure. Here's another thing worth talking about. And I'm getting off track, so let me bring it back in. But now that the banking structure is changing, you have the public acknowledgement of the dying financial system, i.e. the banks. They're admitting that the game is coming to an end. And so you have the permission of the banking sector to get involved now, which will only bring more millions and billions of passive investors funds, as well as pension funds, into the, as you say, the cryptocurrency. So they're crap, but yet they're going to definitely do well because that's what they're being set up to do. So Yeah, and then Kraken, for those that may not be familiar, Kraken is a cryptocurrency exchange based in California. Got a license to open up a first chartered. It's a special purpose chartered bank in Wyoming. So they're going to be holding funds, i.e., there's going to be some gains there. So, for whatever that's worth. Okay, let me keep moving. Okay, so let me get back to the article here. So here's an interesting article here, and I'll do my best to put these in a link in the bottom below so you guys can see it. But passive investors will go broke. And so this is a great article here. It tells a story here about a person who, basically sold some farmland for a family member and was looking for somewhere to park it. And given the environment we're in now, there's no return on your capital these days because of 0% interest rates. And so the conventional things that we've all been told to buy and hold, bonds, CDs, all those products, they're not yielding anything. So here's an interesting graph here. I'll zoom in so you guys can see just what this is about. But it says at the current interest rate levels, it takes almost 140 years to double your money. So the concept of compound inflation is gone for those that are still thinking that something is real. And it has to do with the fact that here we got interest rates going down, but the years it takes to make up for the lack of return on your investment, it just only increases. So we got the divergence here. The cost of borrowing goes this way. Therefore, people who lend their funds, it takes this much more time for them to actually profit off of this. So something worthwhile. And then this is a chart right here that really sums it all up. And then it's an interesting story here of how a person here was looking for ways to park their, family members' funds, and they couldn't find nowhere that returned anything that made it viable for them to pay their bills and actually have those funds grow. And so here's an interesting chart here. And it just talks about fixed income offerings. So as of right now, a 6-month CD returns 0.05%. Like, okay, you give them $100, you get 105 cents back, type of thing, all the way to a 5-year, which is not even 1 point. U.S. Treasuries, we know where those are at. We got zeros, we got U.S. Treasury zeros, we got everything here. Everything here in the government bond area is less than 2 if it's worth your while, which is not even inflationary, not even at the rate of inflation, the real inflation. And then CDs. So those are the typical things people park their funds in. So now passive investors have to take more risk upon themselves and go out there and chase yield. And so that makes you somewhat of a gambler, i.e. speculator, because now if you don't have any financial literacy and know where and what to go into, you're going to either become a trader, a speculator. Hopefully you already been stacking. So something worthwhile. All right, here's another one. Public pensions. New inflation is the dilemma. And so I'm going to go thumb through this quickly, but here's a visual aid you guys got to see. So i.e. for the last, as it says here, let me see if I click on this. For the last 16 years, this is information to public plans from data and public fund surveys. So public pension funds have been told that, you're going to receive yearly roughly 8%, and they've made adjustments, which is not true to life, down to 7.22 today. So as of now, they're still telling people that you're going to yield 7.22 on your portfolio, on your retirement funds. You'll be good. Okay. But it says here the average assumed the real rate at which people are getting is closer to 4.54, which is probably at the real inflationary rate, while they've been telling people that inflation has been going down. And so they've been basically, all the public pension funds are lying to people because all these numbers here tell a different story, i.e. more pension funds getting into more riskier things, which basically puts more risk on you as well. And so what does that leave us? The stackers, those that know what's going on, follow the central banks, man. The central bank's been in this game for a long time. The system is designed by them for the banks. And it says central banks have been buying gold for 10 years now. And so here's why they do it. They do it because if you live in a zero rate environment, i.e. negative, and asset bubbles that are going to pop at some point, there's a sovereign debt crisis of every government being extended to the max and beyond, running deficits up until whenever. There's going to come a day where you won't be able to know what's real and what's fake. So, i.e., get your weight up, people. And so that is it, man. That is everything I want to rant and get off my chest. Now let me hear from you guys. Give me a call. Let me know what you think. And so for those that are tuning in, I gave you guys a little bit of a idea as to what a category you fall into. And so I gave 6 different categories that people will fall in eventually. And so for those that came in late, I'll give it to you again. But give me a call, let's talk, or click the link there, join me face to face, and we can go from there. But in a nutshell, you fall into one of these categories here. So I talked about billionaires earlier. They are corporate shareholders. They're majority corporate shareholders, which makes them, i.e. the big boys are billionaires. You got traders, those who get in, get out, turn a profit, quit. You got passive investors, those that buy and hold and do what they're told to do and are the ones that end up taking the biggest loss. You got speculators, those who are high on natural resources and all type of malfunctions in certain sectors that they decide to get in on and profit off of. And then you got stackers, those people who love to get their weight up. And then you have Kryptonians, those who stack Satoshis or altcoins. So in some capacity, you're in there, I assume. Where you're located at, let me know what you think. How many of those categories have you crossed over into? I'm curious to find out what you guys think, man. So phone lines are open. Let's talk a little bit. So I see a lot of chats back and forth. So also highlight at Rethinking a Dollar sort of stand out, and I'll definitely get back with you. So Dewan Trade says crypto space is thriving. No doubt. And it's, and I've been talking about this for so long now that a part of my skepticism initially was that the cryptocurrency sector was brought to the forefront 10 years ago for this exact time and moment. And due to the innovative, space behind it, they've taken it and ran with it. And now we got DeFi, yield farming, and all types of stuff out there that, promises a lot for those that are aware of it and taking advantage of it. And so Demetrius says, crypto is trash. You have no power. And so, so one thing, so crypto can fall into the speculation realm as well. And so I look at it as a way, it's the easiest way for individuals to take direct ownership in the form of a share of a company of some kind and use it for your benefit and then dump it whenever you please without having to call your broker and say, hey, I need to sell a certain amount of shares. You can sell it yourself. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, Mike. This is William from San Diego.
William from San Diego. How you doing, my friend? What's on your mind tonight? What are your thoughts about all this stuff I just went over? or anything else?
Thank you. Yeah, no worries. I've been listening to you already. Crypto, I purchased some, but, in 2017, before it went up, I was helping a friend of mine try to retrieve half his Ford dealership in Sanford, North Carolina. And I started mining Ethereum with this owner's son. But in the end, I had to trust that owner's son to use the rigs to mine the Ethereum to dump into my account, my bank account. You see, and it didn't work out because of the way it works. So I'm not good enough to be able to work with crypto. And I don't like to support title to shares or units or cryptos, let's say, in which I don't really know the owners.
Right.
Like, I don't really know who owns more than half of crypto. So in my research, I don't like to get into conspiracy, but the NSA seems to have had a language exactly the same as the white paper in 2009, but in 1996.
Yeah.
So to me, it seems like, with our 17 intelligence agencies, they have a lot of money. I've seen their, ability to do complete. They've turned our whistleblowers have already blown since this millennial started on the fact that the NSA and so forth that have implemented listening and knowing what everything that is going on in the internet and so forth has already been captured, but for foreign countries.
Yeah.
Only since 2000 was it turned inward against the whistleblowers who are legal, being thrown in jail and in court to this day. So, I mean, we've lost a portion of our State Department, through these. And I don't know who they are.
Yeah, and that's one of the things where, with the crypto space, is speculative in nature. It's one of the things where if you don't know, you don't have confidence in it, you don't. It just definitely get your weight up.
But I like it. I like the blockchain. The veracity of being able to send a let's say a patent, or property of a contract that has a variable payment in the future based on underlying indexes. Hopefully they're not corrupted. Allows the blockchain to have a big entry into the financial world. But right now we have rules already in place. They've been already written. So that's what we're up against.
Well, hey, listen to this. I appreciate you calling and sharing your thoughts, my friend. I got a couple more people on here, so thanks for chiming in and sharing your thoughts.
I didn't mean to be a downer.
No, you're good.
I'll call you back another night, though.
No, you're good. Thanks for your side, my friend. Thanks.
Bye.
Appreciate the call. So we got an individual on here. Let me get him on here, Mr. Timeless Bear. How you doing, my friend?
I'm very well, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing good. You're over in the UK, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right. Over in England.
Yes, sir. I remember you joined us for the hangout, RTD community hangout, my friend.
Yep.
What's on your mind tonight?
I wanted to ask if you or any of the people in the community have looked into like commercial law, where you got commercial law and you got common law and you got the statute law, and how different laws apply to different people, and how your name when you get it from on your driving license or your passport. I don't know why I'm looking at that screen because I got you on my monitor over there. I might just move that over there. But when you get anything from the government, all of your name is in all caps.
Okay.
It's like a straw man. I don't know if you've gone down that rabbit hole when you sin.
Yeah, so there's a move. Well, I don't know if it's a movement or whatever, but it's a whole school of thought, and it has to do with the idea of your sovereignty. So there's it's the Moors and Moorish, and so there's a community of individuals that educate themselves on those avenues that you just discussed, and they go down the pathway of talking about the capitalization and actually being property that's not who you are, and it's a popular movement here amongst those that unfortunately happen to be in trouble with the law already, and so they're becoming knowledgeable because they've already had some run-ins with the law, and so they spread knowledge through that way from people I've come across. But share your thoughts.
I bring that up because there's a lot of fear in people, like the mandatory vaccine once it does get rolled out. And I remember last time we were talking about not wearing a mask, and I've been going to all sorts of places and I don't wear a mask. I don't even own a mask, and I hate it. I freaking hate the mask thing. It pisses me off. But nobody asked me for why am I not wearing it? I even got a pass printed out from the government website, but nobody checks. I just roll in and I'm like, do you have the authority to ask me that?
So. Yeah, so here in the U.S., here in Michigan, I speak for myself. I personally, I probably will walk in with one, but I'll take it off immediately, just because most of the people at the front doors are older individuals, and I don't want to. It just makes me feel wrong. I don't want to, boss up on an old man or old woman because they try to confront me. So whatever. But I haven't had any instances where people are like, put your mask on. Or we go. No, I'm too big for that, so I don't think I'll run into that myself. But. Who knows?
They guilt trip you into wearing a mask. I had my friends like, "What if you give it to your parents?" And I was like, "Do you know what a virus is? Do you know what coronavirus is? If you look in a medical journal, it means a common cold." And I was
and I saw something about it's 0.1 of a micron in size, and so all the N95 masks, they're all 0.3 or 0.4 or 0.5, which means that it is not stopping any damn thing. So
now, do you know the best thing to do when somebody tells you to put on a mask on? Just be like, pull my finger. if you can smell me farting, it's silly, man. But on I'll just share one more thing.
Yeah.
You were mentioning about you got investors and different ones.
Yeah.
I wanted to add in on types of income you can have. Everybody only knows about the earned income.
Yeah.
You got profit income where you can buy and sell anything. It doesn't even have to be big. You could buy a bike or a car, anything that you can buy where it's broken or something, add a bit of value to it, sell that on. These are some of the skills that I'm trying to sort of work on myself. You got interest-based income. You can lend somebody some money if you're well off and somebody's struggling. You got residual income. or dividends-based income. So if you're, I don't know, creative, you can write songs, you can make poetry, whatever your thing is.
Yeah.
The other one is capital gains, but that one obviously is a little bit tougher.
Yeah.
But that's it, man. I just wanted to check in, just say I love the show. I usually don't get time due to the time difference, but
yeah,
I love everything you do. Hopefully, low blood pressure dials in as well. I'll get to see his face.
Yeah, he's right. He's right here. So I appreciate you, my man. Good talking to you.
All right, buddy. All the best. Take care.
All right, be good.
Bye-bye.
And speaking of which, look who we got here, Mr. Low Blood Pressure, right on time. He just spoke about you, my friend. What's up with you, boss?
Hey, my buddy from the UK. How's he doing?
He's doing well, man. He's like, I hope he said, I hope low blood pressure calls in, and sure enough, you're right here. What's on your mind, man?
I wanted to tell him, hey, that there's some here in America, we have a thing called they're called mask Nazis. They stand in front of the stores, you know, and if you don't have a mask, they won't let you in, Mike. And then they use that BS about we reserve the right to refuse. You know how it is, you know.
Yeah. So I haven't come across many of those in my neck. So at this point, we're 7 months into the game, and what I've noticed is that most people they're already in compliance, so they don't even really notice that some people are not wearing masks. Or if they do notice, they're not ones to be, confrontational with it. So they just, they look and they keep moving. So the public has been well conditioned so far. So that's why I don't really find much, issue on my end. But yeah, it is what it is. What else, man? So let me ask you a question. Out of all those categories I gave you tonight, are you trying to cross the threshold and get into a couple of them yourself, or are you in a couple of them yourself? So you'd be well diversified. Like he froze up on me. Look at it, he froze up on me. All right, I'm gonna let him go. Mr. Low Blood Pressure, man, you froze up on me. Anyway, let's keep the party moving. All right, so give me a call, man. Phone lines are open. Curious to find out what else is going on, and so all types of things happening right now. I'm curious to find out what do you guys have going on, and let me see here. All right, there you go. Hello,
we're back.
Yes, so you froze up on me, my friend.
I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe it's my connection. I got a Wyoming phone number. I'm hiding. From you know who I'm hiding from.
What's going on, man? Tell me something good, man. What else you got going on?
That's it, Mike. I don't know. I'm being a little impatient. I'm like, come on, dollar, destroy yourself.
Oh, man,
I don't even know what to say anymore.
You got a couple more years, man. It's gonna be a long,
2
drawn
years.
Out
Those credit card bills are coming due soon.
Yeah, you should have thought about that before you maxed them out.
What are we gonna do, Mike? Help me out. Hey, let me borrow your social, man. Come on. I'll pay you in silver.
The good news, like I said, the good news, but there's going to be a public bailout coming because QE is infinite for the banks and corporations. They're going to throw you another couple stimulus checks, and then given the fact you got 6 kids, and Trump tweeted yesterday he want to go bigger, so you might be able to put a 10,000 piece out, knock off one of the cars, maybe.
Yeah, but when?
You're gonna pay the card off though. You're gonna go buy some more silver with it. So.
Yeah, you know me. I'm thinking about refinancing my car. It's paid, my cars are paid, but I'm thinking about getting a loan, trying to get some more silver.
Hey, man, do what you do, man. But hey, appreciate you checking in with me, man. There's a couple more people on here.
Cool. All right. Hey, stay away from that crypto. Be careful.
Hey,
that's worse than the credit card.
It can be if you don't know. It can be. It's definitely a risk. But I'm not at the point where I don't see it from the viewpoint that you see it. But I do understand your concerns, though.
Okay. All right, Mike. Have a great night.
You too. Oh man, good stuff, man. Appreciate him for calling in. Anyway, so let's talk, man. So I wanted to, for those that are probably getting in a little late, I start off by talking about the billionaires right now. Billionaires are they're getting richer or wealthier by the moment. And I started off by sharing this little video, or not video, little article here. So in the last 6 months, I highlighted the fact that their wealth have grown significantly, i.e. their share prices is just, going through the roof. As a direct result, the Federal Reserve, propping up the system, i.e. creating a further or inflating the asset bubble in equity. So they've been getting richer. Says this marks a 29% increase over the last 6 months. And I had to shout out, fellow Detroit native, Dan Gilbert, who has the greatest wealth gains of 672%. He went from 6.5 billion as until up until last week or to 2 days ago to 50 billion. So from 6 billion to 50 billion, all as a result of Quicken Loans going public and him being a majority shareholder. Right place, right time. And then I talk about how, let me see here, how a lot of the super rich are now taking advantage of this manipulation and getting out. And then it says they're diversifying their fortunes as the stock market's rebounded. So they're getting out. And I guess what are they probably getting? They're getting right here. They're getting their weight up. And so it's one of the things where don't listen to what they tell you, watch what they do. And of course, we all know what the central banks have been doing for the last 10, 20 years. Russia and China's 20 years, the other central banks in the last couple of years. And they've been getting their weight up because of what they've done to the system. And so here's a little visual aid here showing the amount of countries. And so here we got Russia. Russia has been getting the heaviest from what they've been telling us. China is unknown. And then you got Poland in here, you got Turkey in here. And along the way, all their currencies, all those paper units, we got dollars, they got rubles and liras and whatever, have been tanking. But those that have gotten in early, realized the trends, got their weight up, did well. So, that's my motto of get your weight up, and I'm going to stick to it until I can't stick to it no more. And that's what I'm going to remind you guys, for those that are watching, for those who want to have a piece of history, a piece of art in their collection, definitely the Get Your Weight Up coin is available. I'm excited to make sure I get as many of these into people's hands as possible, because I've taken a responsibility for myself to make sure I encourage people to get heavy. You might not be able to benefit from the billions of share prices or whatnot, or you might, who knows, but you can definitely be proactive and get your weight up. So don't forget to do that. So anyway, man, let's keep talking. A couple more minutes. We're going to dial back. It's been great being able to connect. For those that got in late, got to go back and catch the whole spiel from the beginning, where I laid out my whole little case for why passive investors are screwed. Because this environment now is no longer suitable for those that listen to people and who entrust their financial future into the hands of other people's, especially if they make a commission off that information, in my personal opinion. So you got to get a little bit more personal with your activities, get your weight up, do you, and of course, continue to educate yourself. I would say listen to as many people as you trust that have fruit that falls from the tree, and so you know who they are, and so they're people who show you and teach you and provide for you ways to be able to get your weight up. So that's what it is. Kimmo says, how do you get that weight up? Get the weight up. You can do it any way best. You got gold, silver, copper, whatever works best for you. But if you're interested in the Get Your Weight Up coin, then the link is in the bottom of this video here. And so it's a limited supply. I think we're going to do a total of about 500 altogether. So once the 500 is done, that's all she wrote. You either got one or you did. So, but I think you'll be happy, because I feel confident in saying that the Get Your Weight Up coin will not be going to zero just because of the amount of paper that they're going to print. There's going to be, watch this, there's going to be a lot more of these units right here. And so think about it. It costs for one of these units here. So I got the Get Your Weight Up coin here. So right now, silver spot price is $27, but you factor in each one is specifically made, hand poured, all stuff like that. You got the premium on top. So between these notes here and this thing here, you're definitely going to retain purchasing power as opposed to continuing to save these things here. So that's just my personal opinion there, and also my way of getting you guys to participate and getting your weight up. So, all right, let's keep moving. And so somebody says, as a Libra, that coin sits well with me, though I'm about to balance and the scale needs to be even. Okay. Chemo says online. Yeah. So you ordered online. Yes. And so it's from a mint here in the US. Rolf says only $1 per coin. Oh no. It's not. Yeah. So the last time you can get one silver round or one silver of any kind would have probably been, not even this, but a Morgan dollar is what you probably, and that was in 1962 was the last time you probably could have got one for a single unit of currency. And so, yeah, that was a silver certificate, be actual with you. So it was a $1 silver certificate. It said, history does repeat. All right. So what was we got here? All right, people. So I get ready to dial back. I appreciate those that join me. I'm trying to cut back and not go as long. and want to definitely just lay out my case, get your thoughts, have you guys call in, share your thoughts. So that being the case, about to dial back and back at it again. Got some interesting guests coming up soon. I got as I continue to explore into the mining sector, I got a interview tomorrow that you guys definitely will love. I'll have it posted, and other than that, we'll keep moving, man. And there's all types of opportunity out there, and if you can't make that top billionaire list, you can definitely make that list as far as getting your weight up. So. And one of my personal opinions is that given the amount of currency destruction happening globally, here in the U.S., or wherever you're located at, it's a small amount of people in comparison to the trillions, eventually quadrillions that will be printed out of nowhere. And all of that paper, both digital and paper form, will have to be accounted for. And the best way to take account of those things with natural resources, preferably the smaller you can get, the better, just because it's hard to like, take a piece of artwork and liquidate it real quick or trade it for something of equal value, especially if that piece of art is, $1 million or some crap. But you could take, a silver eagle, a gold eagle, or the get your weight up coin, and definitely probably put some food on your table at some point in a worst case scenario. So anyway, people, it's been great hanging out. I appreciate the love or whatnot. If you've enjoyed the back and forth, hit that thumbs up button there, and we'll be back at it soon, and we will keep it moving. So one little last note here for those that are interested, information down below, get your weight up. And then also I want to make sure I make it available for those that want to participate in supporting the community. You can get your merchandise as well. And then other than that, I want to make sure I point at the fact that for those that are in retirement, some information you need to read beneath this video as well. So great information here from Future Money Traders, my boys over there. So definitely information that can help you, weather the storm and benefit it a little bit. So definitely click the link for that down beneath this video. And I will see you guys later. If you want to support the channel, feel free to become a part of the Patreon side of things. I'm going to definitely, for those that are in the Patreon group, so I'll give you guys a heads up now, so I can try to get as much weight as I can into your hands. I'm going to find different ways of either doing giveaways. I'm going to try to do some draws for the coin. So, for example, I'll put it out there, do a drawing, and let people win a coin. And then I'm going to do for those that are in the RTD community. So if you become a member of the Patreon team for a minimum of $5, I'm going to do a monthly draw and, give a coin back into the community. So always I'm trying to definitely help people get their weight up. So anyway, people, that is what it is. But anyway, I'm leaving with this note. And if you want to be in on the draw for the Get Your Weight Up coin given back to the community, become a Patreon. So I'm leaving you with that. Other than that, be blessed. Hey there, sorry for this interruption, but I wanted to bring something to your attention. If you've been enjoying this live stream, why don't you partner with me and be a support to the channel via Patreon membership for just a minimum of $5 a month. All you have to do is scroll down beneath this video here, click the Patreon link, then consider donating as little as $5 a month towards the channel. A little bit of crumbs can go a long way, and I appreciate your support. Now, let's get back to this live stream.